Namaste. I am Anita Goa and welcome to the 21 Days of Limitless Possibilities Challenge. Today we are at day 10. We are moving on up, and I have a feeling that today you are going to be in need of some hip opening after yesterday's work on your butte legs as well as arms. So we will be flowing just a tiny little bit. We'll be moving from the front to the side to the back in a similar fashion that we did in day 1. No real equipment needed here, but if you have 2 blocks and a yoga strap, you can keep them handy next to you and integrate them if you feel that you need them. Okay, so let's get started. Make sure that you're comfortable in your space, and I will see you on the mat. Good, so we're going to start in a tabletop position. So just spread your fingers, keep your arms shoulder distance apart, and your legs are hip distance apart. And then exhale, round it into a cat stretch, drop your head. This is one of my favorite poses, feels so good. And then inhale, arch it into a cow. Roll the shoulders open and press back into your toes. And do that again. Exhale, round, point your feet, press into the shins and the tops of the feet. Fully exhale. And then inhale, curl the toes under and arch your spine. Just do that one more time. Exhale, round. And inhale, arch. Good. Then exhale, come into a neutral spine and just press through the shins and the tops of the feet or the knees a little bit closer together. So like we did a few days ago, make sure that you have space in between the knees so you can place your fist there. And then extend the right leg out, flex the foot, and then exhale, round your spine and draw the nose into the knee. And maybe this one is starting to feel like it's getting a little easier. Inhale and extend. Do that again. Exhale, round and extend. So definitely you start to feel some strength into the arms and some strength and connection up into the abs. And extend. Do 2 more times. Exhale, round, but you'll start to over time feel more of a stretch into the right side of your spine there. Exhale and inhale. Hold the right leg extended and curl the left toes under. Press through the palms as you draw up through the abs and gradually come to a 3-legged down dog. Just hold it there. Keep reaching out through that right heel. Press the floor away from you and your left knee is bent and left heel off the floor. Then just exhale, draw the knee into the navel and press that left heel into the floor so you get that stretch into the calf. And then inhale, extend. Do that again. Exhale. So you're not moving from the downward facing dog. Just moving your legs a bit. Last one. Draw the knee in and extend. Then exhale, draw the knee into the navel and really round your spine and try to step that right foot forward. And come on to your fingertips. Roll your shoulders open and hold it here. You can place your hands on blocks as well if you want to use your blocks. Lower the left knee into the floor and inhale to Anjana Asana. So send your hips forward, lift your chest, and then reach the arms up. So you can look forward, you can look up on a diagonal, or you can look all the way up into the sky. Stretch out through your fingertips and just open yourself up to the day. Good. And then exhale, lower the fingertips to the floor or the palms onto a block. And then straighten out both of your legs. Keep the chest lifted from that Anjana Asana and fold over your right thigh as far as you can go. Breathe in fully here. Exhale completely out. Breathe in fully. Exhale completely. Good. Then bend the knee and twist it open to the right. So reach the right arm to the ceiling or to the sky and take about 80% of the weight out of your left arm. So either the hand on the block or on the floor is fine as well. Good. And lower the right palm to the block or the fingertips to the floor. Pivot the left heel in and reach the left arm up and over the left ear. Extended side angle. So you get a deep stretch into the side body here, but you also get that deep stretch into your inner thigh, into the hamstring. Then gradually lift the left arm up and straighten out your right leg for triangle pose. So you can support your hand on your shin, on your ankle, or you can lower your fingertips to the floor. Look up, look to the side, or look down. Try to lift your toes up off the floor so that you stay connected into the four corners of your feet. So you're really drawing the energy up through the legs. Draw it up into the core, lift through the heart, and keep breathing. Yeah. Good. Then bend the knee and gradually come to the center into intense leg stretch. Turn your toes in, so you're a little pigeon-toed, and just extend the arms out in front of you. Now I'm quite flexible here, so I can keep my legs extended. Maybe you need to keep your knees bent, and that's totally okay. Send your sitting bones to the ceiling and just feel like you're drawing your rib cage out of your hips, creating lots of space here for you to breathe and to open up your hamstrings and backs of your thighs. Good. Then walk your hands back in, and you're now just going to shift your weight back and forth a little bit. Like you're going into a little lunge, shifting your weight into the right foot, or maybe that's your left, and then the left, or maybe that's your right. So I think you got the drill here. Have me pardoned, because I can't instruct this in the opposite direction. Please forgive me. Good. Just feel the inner thighs opening up. And now come to your back and go into a low lunge. Excellent. And then swing that left leg back into a three-legged down dog. And now we start basically from the beginning. Extend out through that left leg. Keep the right heel off the floor. Draw your chest into your thigh. And then exhale, draw the knee into the navel as you press the right heel into the floor. And then inhale, lift it up. Do that again. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale and lift. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale and lift. And just one more time. Exhale, draw it in. And inhale and lift. And exhale, draw the knee into the navel, round your spine, and softly step that left foot forward. Come on to your fingertips, or place your hands on blocks. Lower the knee into the floor. Send your hips forward, lift the heart. Anjana Asana. Just make your arms soft and relaxed. And then stretch out through the fingertips. Breathe fully in. Exhale it completely out. Good. And then lower the fingertips to the floor, the palms onto the blocks like I did on the other side. And then straighten out both legs, keeping the chest lifted, and fold over. So it's very important that you don't hunch your way into this, that you keep the chest lifted, right? Like we've talked about in so many of the other videos, keeping yourself open to what's already there in front of you, what's already there within you. And then bend the knee, twist it open to the left, so just reach that left arm up. Take about 80% of the weight out of the right arm. And extended side angle, left fingertips to the floor or palm onto a block. Pivot that right heel in And reach the right arm up and over the ears. Keep the toes lifted. And then gradually straighten out the left leg, and you can come up, look to the side, or look down. And you'll get that intense stretch into the inner thighs. Gets you into the waistline as well, into the upper hips. So this is very much a full body stretch. So we're not just focusing on one area, we're connecting it all together. Then bend the leg and come back into the intense leg stretch, and stretch the arms out in front of you and just hold it here. Shake out your head. You get this beautiful blood flow to your head and brain, so this is an inversion. So it turns you upside down, and you might just get a new perspective in the process. Good. Walk your hands in, stay on your fingertips, and then shift your weight over to the side again and go as far as you can. Maybe you can lower yourself all the way down into what we call a moon squat. All right, so in the moon squat, you want to make sure that your heel and your foot is on the ground and your other foot toes are pointing up and the foot is flexed. Good. And then you shift your weight forward, press with the legs, and see if you can go over to the other side. So you just go as far as you can, and then if you can go a little bit further, go for it. Go for it. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Good, and come back to the center. And then shift your weight to the front, over into the low lunge, and step it back into a downward facing dog. Ooh, excellent. Now you try to press both of your heels towards the floor, and it's completely okay that your heels are not touching. See if you can lift your toes up off the floor and root into the big toe joint and little toe joint. Draw up through the quads. You get that deep stretch there into your calves and your hamstrings. Excellent. Draw the right knee into the navel and slide your leg into a pigeon pose. Again, so point the right foot, point the left foot, and lift your chest up. Now lift your hips up as high as you need to be in order to keep your hips leveled. And try to press into your shin. So in this position, you'll feel a stretch into your hips, but you'll feel that your spine is elongated. You can place your fingertips in the center, or you can place your hand on a block. And now what I want you to do is bend your left leg and draw your left heel towards your buttocks. And you'll get a really deep stretch into your quadricep there. So breathe with it. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Scream and shout if you need to. Just let it all out. And then slowly release. Then lift the chest, inhale. You can slide the leg a little bit further back if it feels like your hips can go a little bit further down. And then exhale, hinge it forward. And rest. Now I'll give you different variations. So you can either rest here, like we did in our previous hip opening video, or you can go into what we call threading the needle. So you slide your left arm to the right, and you're going to rest your left ear onto the block. Take your right thumb into the right hip crease and draw that right hip away as you roll your right shoulder open, and see if you can take a hold of the right big toe. Okay, now this is quite intense, and you're going to start to feel this stretching a lot into the right outer upper hip. So inhale completely and exhale it fully. Inhale completely and exhale it fully. Good. And then gradually release. So you try to work your way back in reverse. Ground the palm to the floor and come up. Ground your arms right under the shoulders. Curl your left toes under and press the floor away from you and open up that right hip. Oh yeah, freedom. Press the left heel into the floor, and you can just bend and extend that leg a little bit to relax it if that felt quite intense. Good. And lower the right foot in, and we'll do the same on the other side. Draw the left knee into the navel, slide it forward. Come onto your fingertips, lift your chest, and it's very important that you start to use the strength here of your inner thighs, and you draw the energy up through your abs so that you create that lift and that length. And then take it as far as you feel that you can. Draw the right heel towards your buttocks. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Have a little Mona Lisa smile on your face. Then smoothly release that leg. Just adjust a little bit, maybe come up a little bit higher to see if you can drop your hips down a little bit lower. And then descend it forward. And you can do the same thing on this side too, so you can either rest your forehead on your block or on the floor, or you can go into threading that needle again. So slide the right arm to the side. And if you go into threading that needle, I highly recommend that you have a block underneath your ear so that your head doesn't drop. Okay, so take your left thumb into the left hip crease and draw that hip away. Feel like you're drawing that thigh outwards a little bit. You're creating a bit more space. Reach the arm up and then work the hand behind you and see if you can take a hold of the big toe. Yeah, you feel a bit like a pretzel here. So inhale and exhale, and deep stretch into the outer upper hip. Yeah. Feels so good, doesn't it? Uncomfortably comfortable. Shouldn't be painful. Should never be painful, but it might feel a little uncomfortable, especially if it feels tight. Don't force yourself to go beyond what you can do. Just see if you can move towards that edge, find a place where you can breathe. And this is not your last practice. This is just your first practice. You can do this again and again and again, and as you do it, you start to notice the openings and the changes. And slowly release. Rewind yourself. Come back. Lift it up. Ground the palms. Keep them shoulder distance. Curl the back toes under and press the floor away from you. Lift up and open up that left hip. Good. And press back into the right heel. Feel free to bend and extend the leg. If you felt like circulation got shut off, then just bring it back again. It's only temporary. Come back into downward facing dog. Excellent. Feel a little longer, I hope. And then just step the right foot forward and the left foot forward. And sit down. So far, so good. Just do a little bit maybe of an adjustment of clothing. And now we'll move into Marchasana A and Marchasana C. So for Marchasana A, you're going to sit up tall in stick pose. And in this position, if it's hard to keep the legs extended and the spine lifted, sit on a block or sit on a blanket. Then bend your right leg in and keep the right heel right in front of your right sitting bone. Hold on to the ankle and try to grow up as tall as you possibly can. Like plug the shoulder blades down onto your back. And then support yourself with your left hand and bend forward as you press the right leg against your shoulder. And you're going to try to take a hold of your left foot. And see if you can take a hold of your foot with both hands. So this deeply stretches your left hamstring. It gets deeply into the hips. And this is wonderful also for that birds of paradise yoga position that you've been practicing. Yeah, feels good. Full breath in, full breath out. And then from there, release the right arm, turn your thumb inwards and see if you can work your arm behind you and bind behind you. If you can't take a hold of your left hand, then feel free to use a strap and then stretch the arms away as you pin the shoulder blades together and see if you can fold over your left leg. Okay, so this is quite challenging, but just very gradually work your way towards it. Full breath in, full breath out. Good. And then gradually come back up and release it. Then you take the same leg, but you draw the knee towards your left, so over the left leg. And you're going to twist it to the right and work the left arm to the outside of the thigh. And then open up. So this is a very deep twist into the spine as well as into your hips. So breathe in here, exhale it here. And you have another binding option, so you can extend the arm, turn your thumb in, and then maybe possibly bind behind you. All right, so you want to try to sit up as tall as you possibly can. So do the best that you can. Full breath in, full breath out. Good, and then slowly release and extend the leg out. Ooh. Excellent. Let's do the same on the other side. So bend the left leg in, sit up tall, left heel right in front of the left sitting bone, and then bend forward, work the left leg as close to your torso as you can and see if you can take a hold of the foot. And then possibly take a hold with the second arm. Keep the chest lifted and fold. So it's important that you press the thigh against the torso. Now once you're able to hold on to the foot, then release the arm, turn your thumb in, bend in the elbow and see if you can bind behind you. Use a strap if needed, then stretch the arms away and try to exhale and bend forward. Okay, hold it here. Full breath in, full breath out. Now you might say that this is quite challenging to get into because you haven't been flowing, you haven't warmed up your body as much as what we do in a flow, and we tend to do this at the end. It's a good point, but just try to work with what you have. One time I heard a teacher say that the less ego you have involved in your practice, the less of a warm-up do you need. So the more ego you have in a practice, the more warm-up you will need. So this is all about just finding your potential with or within this moment. Okay? So don't think that you need to get anywhere. Just enjoy exactly the openness and the flexibility that you have now without being, super, super, super warm. So Marichyasana C, draw the knee over to the right and then gently rotate, work the arm to the outside of the thigh. Hold it there. So this is quite intense into the hips. And if the knee and the armpit are close and you can go ahead and bind, go ahead and bind. Use a strap behind you. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Because the thing is that if there is a tightness
anywhere in the body, there's always going to be one pose that will be challenging. So no matter how much warm-up you have, it still might be a challenge. So just try to step back and breathe and let it open in its own time. And gradually release out of that. And sit up tall. So here you definitely feel an opening in your chest while you also get that opening up in your hips. So the upper and the lower body work together. So in order to get deeper into the hips and into binds, the upper body also needs to be open. So that's why I work them both together. So seated forward fold, inhale the arms up, legs straight or bent, and keep the chest lifted as you bend forward. All right, so I've talked about this before. Make sure that you don't hunch your way into it. Keep the chest lifted. Bend the knees if needed, and just work on that elongation of the spine as you gradually fold over and work on elongation of your hamstrings. Full breath in and full breath out. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just so easy to forget to breathe, and especially into those areas where it might feel a bit tight and tense. So it's just a gentle reminder for you to breathe even in this moment. And just feel like you're breathing water, fluid movements into your back body. Good, and then gradually start to come all the way up. Excelente. Then just cross your ankles and roll over, come onto your shins. And then take either 1 or 2 blocks, however many blocks you need, and sit on your blocks for hero pose, Virasana. So you allow your knees to come together and your feet to be close, right underneath your hips and turned in. And lift through the lower belly, lift through the heart. And this just gives your hips a little bit of an internal rotation from all of the external rotation that we've put it through. So it helps to draw you in to yourself after you've been asked to open yourself up so much. So that's where a lot of this balance is at as well. And just rest your hands on your thighs. Keep your palms facing open. And just close your eyes and just allow your hips to settle in a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out in this moment. Just notice how your hips feel. And as you start to feel more open in your shins, the tops of the feet, in your knees, and your quadriceps, you can gradually start to take the block away. Maybe you need to use a blanket in between in order to move there. So you lower yourself very gradually in stages. Again, don't force yourself in any way. Good. And open your eyes if you closed your eyes. And slowly start to bend forward. Very mindfully start to come out of it and just go into a downward facing dog just to balance out your knees. And you can pedal a little bit through your feet just to balance out a little bit there. Good. And then step the right and the left foot forward again and sit down. And just roll down onto the floor and draw your knees into your chest. Just give your lower back, middle and upper back, and your shoulders a soft release. Cup your hands around the knees and roll yourself up. And cross your legs. Sit on a blanket if you wish. palms together in front of your heart, and just notice as you return back into this pose, over and over again within these 21 days within your yoga practice. Try to notice if it feels a little easier to sit. It is called easy seat or Sukhasana, but it doesn't always feel so easy to do. But hopefully it starts to feel a bit easier as you practice, and your hips and your entire body starts to open up. You find more ease. Draw your chin into your chest. Hope that you enjoyed this. I hope your hips feel happy and open. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Lift your chin, open your eyes. And you're ready to take on your day. Do whatever you need to do. Give those hips a little shake. Remember, the hips don't lie. Let them tell you whatever they need to tell you. Just go out there and shine your brightest light. I will see you back here tomorrow. Thank you so much. Mwah. Bye. Oops. Didn't expect that to happen. Oh, it's okay. You want to take a photo? Yeah. Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. This is good stuff. I'm going to see how that looks. Leave you to it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to